Parents want what's best for their child. They spend their time making sure the child is in the best daycare, best schools, best clubs, and best sports teams. They want them to wear the best clothes, have lots of friends, and be happy. But all parents have one responsibility looming overhead with their children. How do they promote academic success to their kids? How do they get their child to be invested in school, to actually want to learn, to do their best academically? From the moment the child is born, the relationship with their parents greatly influences their lives. Infants, toddlers, and young children rely on their parents for everything. They decide what they wear, what they eat and drink, when they go out, whether or not they have access to the internet and television, whether or not they're on a sports team, dance team, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and even who they can and cannot socialize with. This influence carries on, but when the child becomes involved in school, that influence begins to fade. Children slowly become more independent, and many times parents start to feel disconnected from their kids' day-to-day life. It is easy to see how a parent can slowly lose influence over school and ensuring its importance when children are finding they have more freedom to choose their friends and how they spend their spare time. Their priority may not be to excel in school, but rather excel in the fields. Their priority may not be finishing their math homework, but rather their video games with friends after school. Their priorities may get to a point where succeeding in school isn't even on their list. However, in today's society, education is of the utmost importance. Of the 11.6 million jobs created after the Great Recession, 8.4 million went to those with at least a bachelor's degree. According to a new report from the Center on Education and Workforce at Georgetown University, another 3 million went to those with associate's degrees or some college education. Employers want people with at least some degree of education, and those without lose out. Early experiences build the brain architecture and the behavioral foundations that support children's academic, emotional, and social futures. Psychologists even state that early academic success leads to positive outcomes in other areas of children's lives and future mental states. For example, in psychologist Erik Erikson's psychosocial stages and the industry versus inferiority stage, from ages 6 to 12, a child must learn important academic skills and compare favorably with peers in school. Erikson believed that being successful in this area of a child's life, which focuses on academia, would lead to development of their competence. So how do parents get their kids to care about school? How do parents promote this concept of academic success? For many, education can begin as young as 3 to 4 years old, and in these children, parental involvement is rather consistent and usually just expected of parents. How involved one is often determined by the parent's socioeconomic status and how involved they really can be. Children in this age group benefit from storytelling. Parents can emphasize children's language skills by telling them about real-life experiences in story format, something they can remember happening or understand occurring. This age group responds well to more whimsical explanations of cold, hard facts, which is more beneficial than fantastical bedtime stories. This then helps the children grow their narrative skills. This age group also responds well to reading storybooks, as well as hearing those personal experience stories. Reading storybooks allows children at this age to hone their listening skills and is a great tool for sharpening the child's memory. At this phase of life, it is much easier for parents to be involved in the academic growth of their children. It is consistently emphasized to parents that they should be involved in their children's schooling at this age. There are thousands of books on parenting that parents, especially first-time parents, pore over in order to know how to help their children advance intellectually in the most effective and involved ways possible. But As they age, this involvement decreases, and by the time these children reach middle school, there is a disconnect between them and their parents when it comes to their academics. So the next question is, how do we resolve that issue? How do we teach parents how to promote academic success to their children once they get older? When disentangled, the studies geared to middle schools showed that while parent involvement was still important to students' learning, the kind of activity mattered. Helping with homework, for instance, did not have much of an impact at all in secondary schools. Children at this age are developmentally going through a lot. They are dealing with high stress in schools, social pressures, and puberty on top of all of that. Most of the time, these students don't really want their parents knowing what happens in their everyday life because they find it to be too personal. This enhances the disconnect between students and parents. Parent involvement at this age is better focused on involvement in the school than directly in the students' homework assignments or projects. The best way they can do this is to help their child create an academic path throughout high school and into college. Parents can do this by getting involved with their children's guidance counselor and having a secondary involvement instead of a direct one. A national sample of 14,000 students who were surveyed in 8th grade in 1988 and again in 12th grade in 1992 showed that parents who take an active part in their teens' preparation for college have teens who are motivated to do well in school and thus have few incidents of attendance and disciplinary problems during their senior year. Making a plan, setting realistic goals, being involved in school activities with other parents like the PTA, communicating and checking in with your child. All these things can lead to a successful promotion of school and academics to children. But the most important thing a parent can do to promote academic success is be a good role model. As we said earlier, communication and goal setting with your child is key, but seeing is believing. Be a person who is dedicated to academia and explain to them the importance it has in one's life. Whether or not we always remember it, children look to their parents as first influences. So be the image of what you want your child to be. Give them something to aspire to. There are additional services and initiatives that are also available to parents for additional help. See local parent-teacher associations and read up on programs like the No Child Left Behind Act for more information.